Welcome to the Kunateh Impact Show, where leadership, business, and legacy come together. I'm Abdul Kunateh, and every day we bring you practical insights to help you lead stronger, think bigger, and create lasting impact. Let me start with a moment that stuck with me. We had a cross-functional project that had been stuck for 6 weeks. Missed meetings, fading priorities, and a growing pile of good intentions. Then one Friday, our product lead suggested we stop chasing the perfect feature and ship the smallest thing that would let customers try the core value. By Monday, we had users giving feedback, the team had energy again, and the project moved from stalled to unstoppable. That tiny shift, designing for a micro win, changed everything. That story is the promise of today's episode. Exit velocity. The art of turning small wins into lasting momentum. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll give you 3 practical insights you can use this week. First, identify the smallest reliable outcome that signals progress. Second, make those wins visible with lightweight feedback. And third, remove the common friction that kills momentum. These are not academic tips. They're actions you can try in 48 hours. Insight 1, identify micro wins. Too many teams equate progress with big milestones. Launches, revenue targets, or completed epics. Those are important, but they're distant and slow to build confidence. A micro win is the smallest measurable outcome that shows real movement toward your larger goal. It's not busy work, it's a signal. For a sales team, it might be a validated demo that uncovers a decision maker. For an engineering squad, it could be a repeatable automated test that proves a component works under load. For a founder, it might be a landing page that converts one curious visitor into a sign-up. The key is measurable and meaningful, something you can check in 1 or 2 days, and that reduces uncertainty. Practical tactics for Insight 1. Map micro wins in 3 steps. First, pick the problem you must learn about this week. What's the biggest unknown? Second, ask, what is the smallest outcome that would reduce that unknown? Third, set a 48-hour pilot with 1 owner and 1 clear acceptance criterion. Example, if your unknown is whether users understand a new sign-up flow, the micro win is 10 users completing that flow with a net usability rating above your threshold. Run the pilot, capture results, and decide the next step. That keeps momentum because you're either validating or learning. Both move you forward. Insight 2, make wins visible. A win loses power if it's hidden in private messages or buried in long status reports. Visibility amplifies confidence, speeds decisions, and aligns focus. But visibility doesn't mean complex dashboards. Think lightweight and repeatable. A daily line item on a shared board, a 1-slide scoreboard in your stand-up, or a single Slack update pinned to the channel can be enough to change behavior. When the team sees progress, they make bolder choices and risk aversion drops. Tactics for making wins visible. Start with 3 simple tools. 1, a 1-row scoreboard that lists the micro win, owner, and status. Keep it in a place everyone checks. 2, a standing ritual. At the top of your daily or weekly meeting, ask 2 questions. What micro win did we move today, and what blocks us from the next one? Keep answers short. 3, a template message for celebrations and learnings. 2 lines, what we achieved, 1 thing we learned. Use it with a small visual cue, a green dot for validated wins, a yellow for learning. These simple patterns create a feedback loop that compounds momentum fast. Insight 3, remove friction and standardize follow-through. Momentum dies on tiny frictions. Unclear handoffs, slow approvals, or unpredictable environments. High-impact leaders build low-friction paths for micro wins to flow into the next step. That means defining a default follow-up. If a pilot validates, who is responsible for scaling it? If it fails, who captures the learning and files the next experiment? Create simple service-level agreements for decisions, e.g., approval for a follow-up experiment within 24 hours or a documented learning note within 2 days. Make these defaults the team's operating rhythm so momentum isn't dependent on heroic effort. Operational moves include predefined experiment templates, a single canonical place for results, and a short escalation path for conflicting priorities. Pair every micro win with the next decision point. Keep wins connected to strategy. And beware their risks. Micro wins don't replace strategy, and celebrating noise creates distractions. Mitigate that by tying each micro win to a strategic outcome, defining strict criteria, and running parallel diagnostics for systemic issues. That way, exit velocity builds real sustainable progress. Recap. Identify the smallest meaningful outcome, make those wins visible, and remove friction so follow through is automatic. Reflection question. Where is your team losing momentum right now? Is it unclear goals, invisible progress, or friction in the handoff? Take 30 seconds to answer that honestly. Now, one clear action step. This week, pick one critical unknown, design a 48-hour micro win with a single owner and acceptance criteria, add it to a shared one-row scoreboard, and agree a default follow-up. Try it. Watch how small, consistent motion compounds. Lead with purpose and create lasting impact. If this episode added value, subscribe so you don't miss the next practical move you can apply in your work and life. Thank you for listening to Kunateh Impact. If today's episode added value, share it with someone who's building their legacy. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and creating impact. Outro. Thank you for listening to Kunateh Impact. If today's episode added value, share it with someone who's building their legacy. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and creating impact.